All right, you guys. So I'm going to be talking about my third dream. This is one that probably will stick in my memory forever. These all will, but this one was pretty disturbing to me because it was trying to tell me something. Another thing is that it involved children. The kids in my dream had to have been about 15, 16, and to me that's still a child. And excuse me, realizing that something was incredibly wrong in this dream really impacted me for a while. So let's just jump into it. In this third dream, I ended up appearing in my car in a shopping center parking lot area. It was pitch black outside. It seemed even darker than it seems right now sitting outside. I really believe that there was no moon, there was no sun, there was nothing. It was just pitch black, yet everything was illuminated by, there was still street lights, there was still signs on the grocery stores, lights and stuff like that. So you could see, but it was very, very dark, very dim, until later when I actually was in the bright light in a room. So yes, I was in my car, and for some reason in my dream I thought that I was very tired. I felt very tired. I felt exhausted, and I said to myself, I said, you know what, I'm gonna take a nap, I'm gonna lay down. And I was in this exact car. However, there was a bench seat instead of two seats in the front. So I decide that I am going to lay down. So I lay down, and a little bit after I lay down and I close my eyes in my dream, I hear someone screaming bloody murder, a young man screaming bloody murder. Help! Help! Help me! Someone help me! Please, someone help me! And I hear this kid bolt around my car, and I'm thinking, what is going on? Like, I can just hear someone screaming around my car. So I sit up and I look out of, the sound and him coming was from the left side of my car. I sit up and I, kind of follow his direction that was around me, the sound. I follow the sound around me, and I look to my right, and I notice that this young black man is running into this building, and he's actually being met and comforted by an elderly white man with white hair. And I could just tell it was some type of grocery store or something of the sort, but it seemed like nobody was really around besides myself. And I see this, this white man put his hand on this young man's back and guide him safely into this building. I just knew that there was peace there. I knew that there was goodness in that building, and that it would be fine. The kid would be fine, and he would be taken care of. So I'm thinking, what the heck is going on? And immediately I hear on the left side of my car, from off in the distance a little bit, I hear a group of kids walking and talking. And they are laughing. They're like, ha ha, I can't believe what's his face got scared. Like, what a P word. Like, he's so stupid. Like, I can't believe what a loser. And I'm thinking, what the heck? And I see these kids kind of start to walk in front of my car. I mean, they were off in the distance quite a little bit, but I could tell that they were going into a building specifically that was near this other building that this kid, excuse me, I'm burping, that this kid ran into, okay? And all of a sudden, I am not in my car anymore, and I am following these young kids into this building. This building was incredibly, like, I don't know if there were apartments there. I don't know if there were just like these little office spaces, but everything seemed like tiny. Like, the hallway was tiny. The door entrance was tiny. The rooms were tiny. And just everything was like super close, and I just felt like really claustrophobic. But I follow these kids into this room, and all of a sudden, like, I'm with these kids. And I'm sitting there, and it's a tiny room, and there's a bench couch in front of me, and I am also sitting on a bench couch facing this couch. There are 3 young men in hoodies sitting in front of me, and there are 2 kids sitting to my right. I am all the way at the end, closest to the door. So as I'm sitting there, they're all talking and laughing about stuff, and I'm kind of just sitting there observing, and I start to realize that something's off. And as I'm sitting there, I'm looking at this kid that seemed to be kind of like the head honcho of the group. I'm looking at him as he's talking, and I start to realize that his eyes are completely black. And let me tell you, this room is lit up. Lit up. It is lit up. There is a bright light above us. I can see these kids. I did not notice that they had dark eyes until we got into this room and I sat down. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, his eyes are black. What the heck? And I'm starting to get a little uneasy. And then I noticed that the kid beside him, that his eyes are becoming black. And I noticed that the kid beside him, his eyes are becoming black. And I'm starting to get a little freaked out. I'm thinking, what is going on? And when you lean forward to look at someone sitting down at the end of something to get, to see their face or whatever when you're trying to talk, that's exactly what I did. I sat forward and I looked at this kid at the end, and I noticed that his eyes were becoming black as well. And then there's the kid that sat beside me. The kid that sat beside me, I just remember him being white. I don't know why, but it just sticks in my memory. I remember him being white. And like I said, all these kids had hoodies on, and they're just being kids out at night. That's kind of the vibe you get. Kids you would see walking on the side of the road doing stuff. That's what they reminded me of. And I look at this kid to the right of me, closest to me, and all of a sudden I look at him and his eyes are black as well. Like they're starting to become black fully. And as soon as his eyes went fully black, this kid lost every ability to move his body. He became limp. He became so limp. It was like he was drunk. It was like he was drugged. It was like he fainted. I don't know, guys, but the vibe I got off of the room immediately was not good. And oh my gosh, guys, I freaking have PTSD from this crap. Literally, as soon as this kid started to lose ability to control himself and to sit up, and he just became completely, in my idea, possessed. He became possessed. He fell into my right arm. It was like as if you were sitting with someone and they just pass out all of a sudden, okay? And they just slowly fall into your shoulder. Let me tell you, this kid fell into my shoulder on my right side. I felt the pressure. I felt everything. I felt the weight of him. It was heavy. I just felt everything. It was the most disturbing thing I've ever experienced in my life. I have never felt anything so real in my entire life, and that's what freaks me out to this day. I don't know where I was. I don't know what I saw. I have my thoughts and opinions of what happened to me, but I will never know until I leave this earth and I'm able to ask God some serious questions. But this kid fell into me, and immediately I was like, get off me. I was like, I realized that something was in him, and that whatever was in him and him touching me in this dream was going to affect me. That my eyes would start to glaze over and become all black. It was just like an overwhelming, it was like immediately, as soon as he started to touch me and fall into me, it was like, I understood what was going on. I understood that the kid that ran away saw that they had black eyes. I understood that the kid that ran away, that they were engaging in some type of activity um, that he was tricked into. They were trying to persuade this kid to do something, to partake in something, and he started to notice that these kids were not normal, okay? And so as soon as this kid, fell into my arm, and I was like, get off me. And I started to freak out. Like, it was like, just when danger is going on in real life, there's just like this instant, like, snap of a finger, and you're drenched in sweat, and your heart is racing, and you're thinking, this is life or death. Like, fight or flight. This is fight or flight. Like, I need to do something. I need to get out of here. Like, something is wrong. Guys, freaking tell me why. As soon as I try to stand up, everyone in the room went from from talking to becoming real quiet and silent and just staring at me and smirking. In my mind, it was like telepathically, I heard them say, she knows. She knows. And I thought that I was going to get sucked. I don't know. I thought I was going to die. I thought I was going to get trapped there forever. I realized I was dreaming. I realized that there was something going on, that I witnessed something. I realized that man that guided that kid into a building, like there was something to everything that I had witnessed. I was asleep. I was in my car. I heard the running around. I mean, it just felt so real. I will never, ever forget this dream, guys. So I am trying to stand up and get away from this kid, but it was like I was stuck in sludge, in mud, and I'm thinking, I can't shake it off. I realized my body was becoming paralyzed. And I started screaming and crying out to God. I said, God, Jesus, wake me up. I said, Jesus. I mean, I was crying. I said, Jesus, wake me up out of this dream. And it was like I was sucked from a place in the earth. It was like I was in a dimension in this earth. And I got sucked up from it and put back. It was like pulling on a rubber band. It's like pulling on a rubber band and finally letting go. I was in this dimension, and it was like God pulled me back up and just plopped me into my body. And I was back. And then I realized I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. I realized that I was having sleep paralysis, and this is something that has happened to me my entire life, but I've been very good at getting out of it and rolling myself out of it when it starts to come on. And I realized that I was doing that. I realized that this just wasn't a normal dream. This was something, and I'm trying to wake myself up, and I just remember being so tired. I just wanted to close my eyes. But I remember just trying to pull myself up and wake myself up. And I remember being as soon as I awoke and opened my eyes and I realized where I was, I became drenched in sweat. There was fear that came over me. I felt like something was in the room with me. I felt creeped out. And immediately, I got up. I didn't get up out of my bed, but I grabbed my phone. And it had to have been like 2 or 3 in the morning, of course. And I remember messaging some of my friends, and I was trying to distract myself. And I remember I put on this video by Jenna Marbles, who is, I'm not going to talk about that too in depth. The person's name's Jenna Marble. I was going to say some more in-depth stuff, but it's not necessary because I don't have proof on any of that. So, sorry, my allergies are bad. I put on the Jenna Marbles video, who she is a comedian. Has really funny content. She's really good. She's not on the internet anymore, but at that time I was binge watching her content, and I put her on. And tell me why she made this one comment in this video talking about, I'm still kind of zoning out. I'm still exhausted. I'm still trying to understand what was going on with me and what had happened. And all I remember hearing in this video was, oh my gosh, are you possessed? It was like, oh my gosh, are you possessed? Or you look possessed. Or oh my gosh, I think our dog's possessed. It was something like that. And immediately I started to get so uncomfortable. I started to get so freaked out. Immediately I realized that the beings in my dreams, what I saw was some type of possession. It was some type of demonic activity. And I immediately like just stopped watching that video. I put on something else and I thought, what just happened to me? All right, guys, that is my third dream. We have 2 more, and stay tuned. Thank you.